Okay, this will be a video to show how I make lead sheets. It may be useful to someone. I'm not going to record the entire process because that would take too long, but I'll just cut most of it out and keep the important bits. I'm going to be working on the song that Mrs. Moldauer recently uploaded called That's What the Daisy Said. Let's see, first thing I do is make it a little smaller so it's easier to look at. First thing I see here that makes me like this song and figure I can probably do it fairly easily is that it's got conventional ukulele tuning of G, C, E, A. Many of these old songs do not. So that will make it a lot easier. It's in the key of F, which as a general rule for me is good for my vocal range and generally easy to play. Just going to look through it. Somebody has helpfully gone through and jotted down the chord figures above the staff, which is nice, but I will be double checking those as I go along. I always check out these ads at the beginning and end too. Oh, there's one. Oh, okay, that's Albert von Tilzer. All of these were published by his company. Okay, I use a program. Let me go back to the top. All right, I use a program called MuseScore. This is a free program, which is amazing because you can do so much with it. But they make their money from their phone apps and their cloud service. Because if you subscribe to their cloud service, you can upload all the scores you create and share them, and download other scores that other people have created and shared, and that's how they make their money. Their PC version is free and it's fully operational. Okay, it started with this just a basics. This is in the background, just a basic blank score, which I'm not going to use. I'm going to go through the create a new score process. You can see here it's got some that I was recently working on. Put on your slippers and fill up your pipe. Adam and Eve had a wonderful time, and so forth. There's one that I didn't finish. That one was hard. I might go back to that later. The reason I have two put on your slippers is because I did the original in the original key, which I think was B flat. Well, I can just open it. Yeah, it was in B flat, and that was a little too high for me to sing comfortably, so I transposed it down to G. And I'll show you how to transpose later. It's very easy. Okay, so I'm going to use the create new score, the new score wizard. So our title is That's What the Daisy Said. And I'm not going to use, I like to use the subtitle to put the date in, which we can see right down here is 1903. That's what I usually put in the subtitle blank, so I have that on there for my reference. And composer, of course, Albert von Tilzer, because that's who we're working on. And lyricist, who's that? Wilbur Gum, which was his brother, I think. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about the copyright. That won't show up in any place that I can easily see it. So I just that's why I put the year in the subtitle. It's much easier to see there. Click next. I'm going to just make a treble clef lead sheet. And if you don't know what a lead sheet is, you will if you watch this video. So I select treble clef next, and it's in the key of F. So we'll choose 1 flat for F. Now the time signature is in 3/4, tempo di valse. So we'll just click down there and change that to a 3. So now we got a 3/4. Let's see if it's got a pickup measure. No, it doesn't have a pickup measure. Now you could put in all these measures here to put in, if you can play all that, which I can't. I usually put in a 2-measure vamp, but this one doesn't appear to actually have a vamp. It just has this intro, so I'll probably just improvise a vamp later on without actually writing it. So I'm just going to start right here where it says "In the Summer's Golden Glow." So no pickup measure. I'm not going to bother counting how many measures it has to begin with. I'm just going to put 64 measures in, and I'm not going to worry about the tempo right now either. Click finish, and now we have that. And I'll just close that old one in the background. I'm going to make this 150% zoom so I can see it better. Go ahead and save the blank, so I got it saved to start off with. Alright, let's see. I'm not going to use those first 2 measures there. I'm just going to use these, so I'm going to put 5 measures on that first line. I'll use this a lot. I'll go down to however many measures I'm going to have on that line, in this case 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Click this little system break symbol right here, and that will make that stick to the first line like that. Now we get the notes. A half note F and a quarter note D. Half note, click on the half note, put it on F. Click on the quarter note, put it on D. And I am going to go through the whole song like this. Now we got a C and an F in the next measure. And I will be going through the whole song like this. I'm not going to, I'll just do the first line here on the video. I'm not going to do the whole song on the video. Now we have an E and a D. And a D, F, C. And the D and the F are slurred. So we got a D, F. Wait a minute, I messed up somewhere. Oh, that one right there. Yeah, see, this is made a mistake already. So I just delete that one. We got a dotted half note C in that. Okay, undo. Made another error. Dotted half note C. Now we got our D, F, C. And in order to slur a note, I need to hit the escape key to get off of those notes. Now it's no longer blue. It turned back to black, so nothing is selected. Now we go back and select the first note that is slurred, which is the D, and simply press the S key, and it puts a slur right in there. And it may be hard to see on the video, but there's lots of little squares here, and these squares, you can grab those to drag the curve around and adjust its size and its span like that if you want to. Now I'll just put all those back the way they were. There we go. If you needed to tie, I'll just do a couple of things here to show how to do some things. Let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 measures. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, let's save it there. If you have notes that are tied, this isn't what it really is. I'm just putting this here as an example. You select the first note that you want to tie and click the little tie symbol right up here. It'll tie them. And I will hopefully discover other things as I go along, and I will stick those in here when I need to. So I'm going to stop recording right now, and I'll pick it up again later. Okay, and right away I found something that I need to talk about in the very next measure. Accidentals. If you're going to, this has a B flat and a D flat. The B flat's already in the key because we're in the key of F. We have a D flat quarter note. So we select quarter note, and then come right over here to the accidental part and select flat and put it there, and there's our D flat. And that's how you do all accidentals. You select the duration first and then the accidental that you need right here. Now if you need to insert a rest, you select the duration first and then you click on the rest symbol, and it will put a rest of whatever duration you already selected right there. You might need to, you would have to do this if you had a rest at the beginning of a measure and then notes in the rest of the measure. That's just something you would have to do. That's how it works, like that. Or if you have I'll erase all that. If you have a half 2-beat rest, say, so we're going to have a half rest here, you would have, and then a single quarter note, you would have to put that rest in first. If the rest comes first, you have to manually enter the rest. But if the rest comes last, it'll enter it for you, like that. Alright, okay. Now I'll stop recording again and start it up whenever I come across something that should be mentioned. Okay, I'll say something else right here. In order to put in a dotted half note, since this is 3/4, we'll probably have a lot of them. You click on the duration first, half note right here, then you just click on the single dot, and that will put a dotted half note in. It also has double dot, triple dot, and quadruple dot. Another thing you can do is a lot of these songs will have repeated bits of melody that are the same. If you have one, like right here we have one, this is also going to be a half note G and a quarter note G. You can just select the section that has already has that melody like that and just copy and paste it, so you don't have to enter all those notes manually. And that's something that can help speed up the process. Here we're going to have an entire section that's already been done. It's a repeated melody line. It starts right here with the DFC all the way through to this A. So you can just select that measure, press your shift key, and click on that measure to select everything between there, just like you normally use the shift key for Windows. Then Control C to copy and Control V to paste, and now I don't have to enter all those one at a time. In order to do any of the other dotted notes, you simply select whatever note it is. Like dotted quarter, you select the quarter note first, then select the dot. Dotted eighth note, you select the eighth note first, then select the dot. It's like the and if it's a dotted rest, then of course you just click on the rest key to turn it into a rest instead of a note. Okay, now I've entered I'm up to the end of the stanzas. So if we look on the original sheet music, we've got this little double bar right here to show that it's the end of the stanza and the chorus is about to begin. So I will select that measure, go over here to the menu where it says bar lines, and click on the little double bar, and now we've got a double bar there. So it looks just like the original music. Now, click this little icon up here, rewinds all the way to the start. Click the play, and it will play this as long as your computer has MIDI capability, which it most likely plays MIDI music. All computers do now, I'm pretty sure. Unless you're using a Commodore 64 still. Click on the play button and we can listen to the melody. stop it since there's nothing written there. If you want to change the tempo, just go back to the first note, click on that first note to select it, go over to the menu over here and select the tempo. And since we're in 3/4, we want to define the tempo by the quarter note, so we can just click on that, and the default is always going to be something equals 80. That's just the default, and then you can change it from there very easily. There, it's pretty slow. So without that tempo definition in there, it's probably like 100 or something. And to change the tempo, you just double click on it to select that, delete that number, and put in a new number. Click anywhere to deselect it, and then we'll rewind to that first note. And so that's how you can do the tempo if you want to, and this is helpful, you know, if you're learning the melody and it might be a little tricky. So far this one's fairly easy. You might want to slow it down so that you can learn it and then speed it up again later, but I'm not going to use a tempo right there. I'm just going to delete that. Now we do the chorus, so I'm going to select that measure right there, collapse the tempo, and go to the menu selection for text, and select System Text. Double click on it to select it, select the whole thing, and in all caps just write chorus. And then I'll select it and turn it into a boldface, and then drag it back over here, kind of out of the way a little bit. So now we have our thing that tells us at the beginning of the chorus. This one also says tempo di valse at the beginning of the chorus, but we already know that. It's a waltz. And now I will enter the notes for the chorus. And when I get down to the bottom, I will show you how to put in a first and second ending. Okay, I don't have quite as many measures as I'm going to need. I'm almost finished with it. I only have 5 blank measures left. But if we look at the last line, it's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 measures. So I'll just select that last measure, go up here to go up here to Add, click on Add, hover over Measures, Insert Measures, select Insert Measures, and then type in the number of measures I want, which is 2. And it will add 2 more measures on there, and I'm going to go ahead and put a break on that, just like on all the other ones, so that the spacing stays uniform. And then I will enter the last line. Now I'm almost finished with it, but it has a first and second ending, and you often want to go ahead and put both the endings in there, because quite often the first ending will have different chords than the second ending. The second ending will probably end on the key chord, in this case F, and the first ending will not necessarily end the same way. It will probably have some kind of turnaround to go back to the beginning of the song. So we need to put a repeat bar in here, so I'm going to select that measure because that's going to be the end of the first ending. Go to bar lines and click on the repeat bar line. I don't need that anymore. Now I'm going to select both of these measures by clicking on one, then holding the shift down and clicking on the other. And we go over here to lines on the menu, bring that down, and click on that one to put first ending, which is called a prima volta. And then this will be the second ending, so I will select both those measures together, and then click on the seconda volta, which is the second ending. And then our second ending music is simply an F tied over to both measures, just like in the first ending. Tied together. Now, we can rewind to the beginning and listen to the whole song. And you can go in and change the instrument if you want to. The default is just a piano. and that's fine with me. It's easy to hear, and that's what I leave it on. I never bother changing it because this is just something I can listen to help learn the melody and make sure that I've entered it right. So we'll just listen to the whole song. And then it repeats because we put that repeat in there. All right. Nice little melody. All right. Now the next step is to start entering the lyrics. Go to the first note, select that note, press Control L, and it will open up a line for the lyrics. And now we start typing in the lyrics. So we have "In the Summer's Golden Glow." Now, the syllable "sum" will be on the half note and "mer" is on the quarter note. So in order to split syllables, after you type the first syllable, you simply press the hyphen key, and it will space those right out for you and leave a hyphen. And this is how they always write the lyrics in a song. That way everything stays spaced out correctly. "In the summer's golden glow," of course. Gold, press the hyphen, and "in," glow, comma, man, and. Alright. The word "man" is going to be spread out across both of these slurred notes. So what I like to do is I press the underline, which is shift hyphen, and that will, one press of it will pop you over to that second note. Now press it again, and now we have a line that stretches out across both of those notes to show you that the word "man" goes with both of those slurred notes. Man and I'm just typing. Type the word in, press the space bar at the end of the word, just like you always do when you type, and it will advance to the next note. If you ever get off and something happens where you have to fix something and you need to get back to typing lyrics, you simply select the next note that doesn't have a lyric, press Control L again, and it will open up that line so you can continue typing lyrics. And I'm going to type in a bunch of lyrics now, and I won't record again unless I need to. Alright, now we have a word that's going to be spread across two measures. The word "story" is going to cover both of these measures. So we type the first syllable, press the hyphen, and the last syllable. So you can see that it jumps across to that next note. And there will be certain cases where you may have to press the hyphen key more than once because of the way the music is written. I don't think this song is going to have any examples of it. But you just keep pressing that hyphen key until you get to the next note where you want to enter the next syllable, and it will leave a little trail of hyphens here to show you that that's word is spread across that whole distance. So now we're finished with the first stanza. Space bar. Now I can start typing in the chorus. Now we'll turn the recording off again. Okay, here we have another case of the word say is going to be spread across this whole dotted half and quarter note. So after typing in say semicolon, because that's how it's written in the music, I always like to do it as exactly as I can to the original music. And we press the underlined key, and that pops us over to the quarter note. Now we press it one more time to get us over to the next half note, and you see that it has a line all the way under that to show that the word say covers that whole duration right there. Here we have an odd case right here where they put a two-syllable word on a single half note instead of turning that half note into something that matches two syllables. It's the word seven. So you can just type the entire word there without a hyphen to break the syllables, like that. But you can also turn it into something that's one syllable, like that, if you want to. We'll just leave it as a 7 because that's how they wrote it, even though it looks awkward. 7, 7. And I guess you can use whatever rhythm you want to sing that word in two syllables on a single note. Okay, here's a good example of something that I was talking about. We select that. This measure has the word marries, but the first syllable, mare, the duration is both of these slurred notes, so we type in M-A-R, press the hyphen key, and we're only at the middle note, the C, and the last syllable doesn't start until the A, so we just press the hyphen a second time, and it spaces it right out for us. And now it's nice and neat, and shows us that the first syllable covers both of those first two notes. Okay, I still have to put in the second stanza, but I'm done with the chorus now. So I got up to where Daisy said, and then when you're typing the lyrics, it's not going to jump back to the beginning because there's a repeat. It's just going to keep going straight. So the last word in the song is said, just like in the first ending. And I press the underlined key to show that that word said, just like here, covers that entire dotted half tied to a quarter note. So now I've got the first stanza and the chorus. Fortunately, the chorus is exactly the same both times, so we don't have to type in a second chorus. We just have to type in a second stanza. So we go back to the beginning, and we select that first note and press Control L to bring the lyrics in, and it opens up a new lyric line directly underneath the first one. You don't have to worry about that. It puts it right in the correct spot for you, and everything is fine. Now I'll turn the recording off and enter all those other words. Alright, now I have all the lyrics in. And as you can see, it's got everything spaced. It spaces everything out for you. Everything is nice and neat. Now, this is going to be something that may confuse some people, but what I'm going to do now, because actually this song has a lot of space in it, so I probably don't need to do it, but what I like to do is use the jazz standard for chord notation. So I'm going to go to Format, Style, and go all the way down close to the bottom of the list where it says Chord Symbols. Select that, and then we have Standard, Jazz, and Custom. I'm going to change it to Jazz because they take up less space, and in many songs some of the chords, like if you have to type in something with a lot of characters, like a C sharp diminished 7, which I'll just use this as an example. That's not what this is. It's got 6 characters, and this might screw up your spacing in some songs where there's a lot of... Woo! I forgot. Yeah, it plays the chord for you. That might mess up the spacing in some songs where there's a lot of activity and a lot of fast notes going by, and it can throw all the other spacing off. So I like to use the jazz symbols because they don't take up as much space. So this person helpfully put in chord symbols above the staff, but I'm going to still double check these to make sure that they're right. So let's see, we start with we got to analyze. This is, if you are not familiar with analyzing chords, then you might be a little lost here, but this we've got an F, we've got 2 F's in the bass, and an F here, and an A and a C here, and he's saying start on the key of F, so I agree with that. So we select that first note, press Control K. Control K will bring up a chord symbol line above the staff right there. So we just put an F, and it will play as if somebody just played a simple block chord on the piano as you go through, and it's going to do this when we replay the song later also. And as you can see, it went over to the next beat. We're not going to change the chord there. That's still going to be an F, so we don't need to type anything in. Let's see what the D does though. So we still got our F's in the bass, and up here in the soprano clef we got an F, A, and a D. So F, A, and D, that's a D minor. So you might, instead of just playing an F for that whole measure, you might want to go ahead and put a D minor there. And I will have to go through the whole song like this. Let's see what we got here. Now he's just playing an F this whole time, but we changed to a D minor, so we might have to change back again at the beginning of this measure. So let's see, we got 2 A's here, and a C, and a C, and an F. So it looks like we're back to F there. So we'll go ahead and put an F back here. Second beat's still going to be an F. Yeah, second beat's going to be an F. We won't put anything there. Let's see what we got here. Okay, he's saying we got a, like a G sharp or an A flat, fully diminished 7 right there. So let's see, we got A flat, we got 2 A flats in the bass, a B natural, a D, and an F. I like to do this with a ukulele in my hand so I can play it as I go through and make sure I can look at my fingers and make sure I'm playing the right notes, the right chords. So we got an A flat, a B natural, a D, and an F. Yep, that's a G flat. I'm sorry, an A flat, fully diminished 7th. Or with the way diminished chords are, you could call that anything. You could also call it a B diminished 7th, or a D diminished 7th, or an F diminished 7th. Now for the fully diminished chords, I'm just call it an A flat. So we type A, type a lowercase b, which will turn into a flat symbol as soon as we space off of that chord. And to make it fully diminished, we type a lowercase o, because you'll see one, and then we hit a 7th. Now I'm going to just space, and you can see it turned into an A flat, fully diminished 7th. The superscript small circle means fully diminished. Now if we were going to make a half diminished, delete that O, for this program we would type a 0, and that is a half diminished 7th, which we don't normally run into in any of these songs. They really like to use the fully diminished chords. Okay, and I have to go through the whole song like this, and I will look at what they've got written and then make my own decisions. Let's see, we've got he's saying a C7 there. So for our first 2 beats, we've got a C and a B flat, G in the bass, and an E there. So that's definitely a C7. Let's see what that last beat has though. We're going to have G in the bass, an E, a B flat, and a D. So E. We might want to call that a let's see, a G, B flat, D, E. I'm going to call that a G minor 6. G minor 6 is more accurate for that than a C7, so we'll just put that there, G minor 6. And I'll have to go through the whole song like this, and I will double check what they've written compared to what I think it is, and make my own decisions. Sometimes the chord figures as you put up there are actually a matter of your interpretation. You might want to write them differently. You know, who knows? So I'll start recording again if I need to mention anything else. Alright. Got them all entered, I think. Now I'll play through it, and you can see it's going to play these block chords as it goes along, as well as the melody. So you can hear what it sounds like. Sometimes on these old songs there is no recording available. I've run into that several times. So creating your own little lead sheet like this. Of course, if I really wanted to, I could put all this stuff. It would take forever, but I could put the entire score in using the piano score. And there are actually some people who do that, and they record themselves singing to MIDI piano scores and put them on YouTube. They don't play ukulele or anything else. They don't play any instrument. They just get a MIDI recording, not a recording, a MIDI version of this song and sing along with it and put them on YouTube. But that's not what we're here for. We're just here to create a lead sheet that we can learn to sing with. So now I rewound to the beginning. Now we can hear what it sounds like. The oxide daisies grow in their pride and glory, maiden blushing strangely fair. There's a daisy nodding there, whispers with a frightened air, reveal now love's own story. I love to three. I love, I say, for I love with all my heart, and five I've lost away. 6 he loves, 7 she loves, 8 he wants to wed, 9 he tarries, 10 he marries, rest for the day he said. And of course, if you want to, you can put these, you can repeat these chords at the beginning of every measure if you wanted to keep the chord going. But since I'm just making a lead sheet, I'm not going to put them on there like that. So now you can see how this works. Alright, now what if you just finished it and you sang along with it like that, just to see if it's going to fit your vocal range and it's a little too high. Say you want to drop it down to a D. We just do select all, which I just do Control A to select the entire thing. Then we go to Tools, Transpose right on top, go right over here. Right now it's an F major / D minor. click on that to bring up the menu, and we'll go down to where it says D major / B minor. Select that, click OK, and bang, key signature changes. Now it's in D. Now we can play it in D. And you'll notice that the chord figures also changed. It transposes everything for you. But I think I'm going to leave it in F. But you can save it. It can save several versions in different keys. And if someone comes along later and says, I'd like to try to do that song, but it's too high for me, can you put it in such and such key? Then you can very easily transpose it and print them a new one. And now I will go to File, Export. This is going to export a PDF. I'm going to put it on my desktop. That's where I like to put things. Yeah. And save. And give it a few seconds. And then we'll go over here. Should be right around here somewhere. I'll probably have to refresh the desktop to get it to show up. There it is. Boom, 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 boom. That's what the daisy said. And we've got it. And when I actually get around to trying to record it, I'll put it in a 2-page version like this, and then fiddle around with it. Fiddle around with the zoom and everything, and try to get up to where I can still see the chord figures, but I don't need to see I don't need to see the title and all that. I can just see the chord figures up here, and zoom it in as tight as I can without getting anything off the screen, and that way I can read it, and I can start practicing it and play it. In the summer's golden glow, man and maiden strolling go. And that's how I do it. So you see, you have a nice, neat PDF here that you can print out, or you can just share it, upload it to wherever you want to upload it, email it to whoever you want to email it to, put the PDF on your tablet, and use it that way. Anything. We've got all the information here: lyric writer, music writer, date of publication. Not necessarily the copyright date, but usually pretty close. Looks pretty nice, right? Yeah, that's how I do it. So maybe this helped somebody, or maybe it just confused you, but I kind of wanted to make a video of the process that I go through to create these, and this looks like it's going to be pretty simple, even for me. So and I need as simple as I can get. So this shouldn't be bad at all. I'm pretty sure I can do this. I love, two I love, three I love, I say, four I love with all my heart. I'm going to add a little twiddle in there on that F sharp. Oh my heart, something like that. Oh my heart, and five I cast away, Got a little F major 7 effect there. What did I say? Oh, that's why it was wrong. I got my zoom off. Alright. Five I cast away, C7. Six he loves, seven Anybody have any questions? Feel free to ask. I'll try to answer them. And I hope this wasn't too confusing. It's going to take a long time to edit.